Hey guys, how are we? Well, a bit of a quieter day here today after being so rudely interrupted by the Greek Air Force yesterday. I got my facts mixed up yesterday too. So Ochi Day is in commemoration of when in World War II the Italians gave the ultimatum to the Greeks to either surrender or they'd invade, and the Greeks gave them the middle finger and said no. So so that's why Ochi Day or No Day is a bit of a display of the Greek military prowess. So they ended up defeating the Italians, who had a bigger and superior force from what I understand, and were backed by the Germans in World War II. So yeah, certainly not to be trifled with. So I did think that it was part of the expulsion of the Turks, but it's not. It's the defeat of the Italians. So there you go. I did get a chance to catch up with Zach, who I've met a few times here in Greece, and he introduced me to Ravi, who's also a fellow Australian, and yeah, two really good guys, and they both left, I think it's Sydney, and migrated here, so they're part of the overseas exile crew, trying to find their way in the world, find a bit of an alternative. So yeah, interesting times. There's a whole heap of people. I've got to catch up again with Eduardo before I leave, and I might do a little bit of a video with Eduardo, because he has a skill set in regards to purchasing and selling property. So he's done it in Portugal, and now he's here in Greece. So so we'll catch up with him later on in the week before we leave. And hopefully we'll be, as I said, off to Thailand in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to catching up with a few guys over there. A couple of people have messaged me already, so really looking forward to catching up with you guys when I get there. So yeah, so interesting times here. I did have a couple of questions from Virginia Construction Group and from Laura in regards to earning while you're overseas. Some people have a capacity to work remotely, and other people are going to have to develop that. I mean, I've had to do that in the past. And you go through different iterations or different seasons in regards to that as well. I did own a web development and a hosting company, and we did a lot of our development through or in WordPress. And having caught up with a mate of mine, Donovan, who does a lot of his stuff in Jamstack, which is a lot faster and a lot better for search engine optimization. It has been a steep learning curve. It's a lot more complicated. Once you get going, though, it's a bit easier, but and more customizable. Loads a lot faster, and that's one of the problems I had when I was developing websites in WordPress, was that they were just really heavy websites. A lot of content there that's not really necessary. But and the other thing is, when you have that particular type of framework, it has a lot of security issues. So Jamstack sort of eliminates most of that. But as I said, it's a steep learning curve. It's not easy, and it takes time. And so the reason why I sort of say that is, if you are in that position where you want to leave Australia, you want to escape the craziness, then I strongly suggest that you just make a start. And as I said to you in the past with previous videos, one of the keys to success is boldness and consistency. You need to be bold and you need to be consistent. So just get into it, start it, and follow through. And so that's really the key there. So it can be done. It can be done. Look, if someone like me can do it, anyone can do it. So But as I said, it's going to take time, can take quite a while to get things up and running, but you will get there. And if you've got a little bit of a nest egg set aside from the time that you start or begin to give yourself a bit of a runway to get up in the air and get some passive income coming in, then that's even better. It takes the pressure off you. There's other skill sets that you can learn, and as I said to Laura on the Facebook group, Overseas Exile, so if you're not there, sign up. I sort of said to her that you could sort of do, possibly get some work on Upwork. I've employed people in the past on Upwork, and I've done a little bit of work on Upwork for people. Not that I do it that much, but yeah, so there's opportunities on there. You can write. There's also Medium, which is another opportunity. So you can write. If you enjoy writing, then you may be able to earn a little bit of cash on Medium, places like that. There's heaps of opportunity. As I said, get on there and have a look, and if you see something that really resonates with you or lines up with your skill set, then go and do that. Rather than try and emulate somebody else and what their formula for success for them has been, go and do something that lines up with your skill set or interests. And that's kind of what I was saying to Virginia Construction, was basically make a list of all the skill sets that you have and then all of the interests that you have. And also make a list of all of the different services and things that go into providing those services or providing those things, and just see if there's a bit of a niche in there for you to provide services to other people or whatever. So always lots of opportunity there. So you want to make a list of all of your assets, not so much physical assets, but skill sets and background, that sort of stuff. So certainly would suggest that. You could even do a podcast. I mean, I know I've got really good podcasting equipment, but I think I've only done about 6 podcasts, and thinking of selling that equipment, to be honest. Purely because it's easier for me to travel. Now, while I'm on that topic, I just went and sold my 27-inch iMac because we're moving, and it's an extra 10 kilograms of weight that I can do without. So I sold that, and then within a week I went and bought the new M1 iMac with a 16 gigabyte of RAM. I just went and got a second-hand one, which had almost no use at all, and absolutely thoroughly impressed with the performance. The battery life is just absolutely amazing. The processing power is incredible, and it only weighs just over 1 kilogram. So very, very handy, exceptionally impressed with it. The battery life, as I said, is absolutely amazing. So it's that sort of stuff that you want to really think through. I was using a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and it's almost 3 times the weight. If you've got the skill set, or you can develop a skill set, do that. Start developing your online strategy that's in line with your existing skill set, or learn a new skill like app development and programming, etc. It can be done. There's a lot of courses online, and also a lot of really good people who put different projects on there. There's one guy that I really enjoy watching. I think he's called Net Ninja, and he does little projects that you can follow along with. There's another one called Coding with Anna, and she does a really good job of providing little projects that you can learn a lot from. So heaps of different assets online that you can utilize to learn coding and different skill sets. So I strongly recommend that. You could, if you learn how to build your own website, you can build websites for other people as well. I mean, you could sort of sell that service on Upwork or another place. So look, heaps of different things that are available to you, so don't stress out. But as I said, if you've got a little bit of a nest egg, then strongly recommend that you go and learn that new skill set, develop your things online. There's a really good asset that I use called MindNode. I think it's a Mac app. On Windows, I think there's one called MindMap, but it's mind mapping software. When I was in my 20s, I caught up with this guy who was retired by the time he was 35. And I said, look, would you mind me buying a coffee with you, a couple of times a month, and just sort of pick your brain and sort of learn from you? And he was gracious enough to sort of accommodate me. So one of the skills I learned from Michael was mind mapping, and that is one of the best ways to just get your project out of your head and onto a computer screen. Once you basically get that mind mapping done, then you can start filling out all of the different aspects of it. And a lot of those programs have a capacity to transfer those mind map entries into an Oxford note-taking format. So definitely recommend that. If you're not using MindNode or something like that, then I strongly suggest that you do that, particularly if you've got to build out projects. So makes it a lot easier to do that, and you'll find that a lot of the skills that you learn during that can be easily transferred into other areas. So yeah, so strongly suggest that. It's just a little tip that I thought I'd share with you. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave that there, and any questions, more than happy to answer. If I know the answer to the question, I'll answer it. If I don't, I'll probably go and ask somebody and find out what the solution is. If you're not a member of Overseas Exiles Facebook group, I strongly suggest you get over there, because like-minded people are on there and they're all discussing, different things. And I post some things on there, and just to try and help people. At the moment, I've been posting about the lifting of different restrictions in regards to Thailand and some of their pandemic, endemic procedures. So some good news happening. And so some really good stuff happening with that, and I'm looking forward to getting over there and meeting the guys. So, but anyway, one step at a time. We've got to continue to pack things up here. We're pretty much packed already, but we've just got to finish this sale and of the property, and then we're off. So, all right, guys.